Hey everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comedian and host of Bachelor Recap, a guy's review. Happy Tuesday morning, February 16th, 2021. As you guys can see from this thumbnail and from the title of this video, Demi is taking to Twitter to apologize for wearing a Confederate flag jacket. Now I'm going to read what she was tweeting before this news broke, and then I'm going to play for you guys her video. We'll analyze how that all went down, and then we'll show a little bit of the back and forth she had with Tay Mocha. I only go by their usernames now. I can't remember people's full names. You know what I mean? When you're my age, you only get to remember so many names. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? My sister has another kid. I'm an uncle. I learned that name. I don't know Demi's last name anymore. Okay, that's how it works. So this photo came out, and this was on Reddit. It says, in today's least surprising news, found this picture of Demi wearing a Confederate flag jacket. Now, none of what I'm about to say is going to be apologizing for anybody else, and none of what I'm about to do is going to be accepting apologies for anybody else. I'm going to do this crazy thing in 2021 where I give my opinion just as a bloke from Rhode Island. I'm a bloke from Rhode Island, take it with a grain of salt. I know Demi is a Southern chick whose mom has spent some time in the penitentiary. What does that have to do with her decision-making? I don't know. Is there a socioeconomic issue at hand when it comes to ignorance and not understanding our past? That's for you guys to decide. I don't know what you read in the history books. I didn't learn too much. I'll tell you what, Rhode Island public school education, I learned about clam chowder. That's all we know. All right, so this is what happened. Let's get into it. This photo came out with her Confederate flag on her jacket. How could you be so tone deaf in today's world to have a Confederate flag in your jacket? Who are you, Demi? Who are you? Who am I? Who are you, Demi? All right, so let's get into it. Hey, let's take a step back to yesterday, 15 hours ago. Let's rewind all the way back to 15 hours ago. Demi was just commenting about last night's episode. Heather Martin, someone I look up to. I want to be more like her. She doesn't talk bad about anyone. She's always happy and friendly and willing to be there for anyone. They should have used her as an ally since she's been through this before. F every one of them. Hashtag The Bachelor. Sounds good to me. Heather for Bachelor. And then she said, Bachelor girls always love meeting me because my clout and ability to entertain. Well, I don't want to know a single one of the people who said mean stuff to Heather. Heather wouldn't condone this, but I will say, kiss my ash. All right, pro Heather, very nice. And then we keep on going, and she said, I'm an effing dipshit. And then Demi says, and this is when the Confederate flag photo started coming out. And by the way, I wonder if she even knew, I'm sure she knew she had this photo lingering, but it's one of those things, it's like, she's not going to out herself. She's going to hope no one saw it because maybe she learned not to wear it again. Crazy, right? Before this current generation, if you made a mistake, you just learned from it and moved on. You know, I'm not saying she shouldn't be thrown to the fire and explain herself here, but I think she did the right thing by just getting right in front of the story and talking directly to the audience. She said, I don't have a PR person to filter my tweets. I just say what's on my mind, and sometimes I say the wrong things, and I'm sorry for that. I suck sometimes, and I'm sorry. I mean well, but I get it wrong. I don't even think that's in reference to the Confederate flag part yet. So here it comes. Here's the Confederate flag. She says, I'm an effing stupid, ignorant idiot who didn't know something I should have known. I am very sorry. All right, not the most eloquent apology, but I like it. So let's play this video right here and see what she has to say about the news coming out that she put a Confederate flag jacket on, and it was a photo that was leaked out.
I've been an ignorant, self-absorbed sack of shit for most of my life. So I genuinely had no idea what I was representing by wearing the jacket. I have no excuses other than ignorant, self-absorbed sack of shit. Disgusted with myself. I suck for that. Suck very badly for that. I know better now. Did not know better then. So really what I can say now is be better than me. Don't look up to me. Look up to being better than me, because I fucking suck. And I really fucking hate myself, like, for being ignorant. Because this is the time to change the world, make it better, and I made it worse. So I'm really, really sorry.
There you have it, folks. She said, I'm an ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit. I want to relate this to a stand-up comedian on stage for a second. This is what I know. I can relate it to comedy. When you get on stage as a comedian, it's always a good idea to start your set finding a way to make fun of yourself. Oh, I look like Bradley Cooper in Limitless before he took the pill to become rich and successful. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that, you want to make fun of yourself in a way that you can. So for her to start saying, oh, I'm an ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit, it's like, let's lower the bar between who you think I am and I'm going to tell you who I am. This is like Eminem in 8 Mile when he's like, yeah, I live in a trailer with my mom. He says all the negative things about himself in the rap. Spoiler, 20 years later. Can you believe it's been that long? He says all this. He says all the mean things about himself. So when it comes time for the other guy to roast him, the other guy is speechless. It's like, yeah, I suck. Yeah, I'm ignorant. Yeah, I come from a weird place where we didn't know these things. This is who I am. So for a lot of times with comics, it can be hard to like catch them. Don't get me wrong. Everyone can like have like horrible things come out. But for a comic, it's like, I'm showing you my true self. I'm showing you I'm a codependent, jealous piece of shit. I'm working on it. But this is the baseline. I am a flawed human. And a lot of times people will say, oh, comics, they're so messed up. And it's like, are they? Or are they just some of the only people that are willing to just show their flaws openly to others? I'm not perfect. I don't use an Instagram filter. I get zits. I got chubby this thing. What is that when I bend over? You know what I mean? We're all flawed. So for her to come out of the gate and say, ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit, oh, I would wear that t-shirt any day of the week. She said, be better than me. I really hate myself. It doesn't mean she doesn't need to apologize. It doesn't mean she doesn't need to learn from it. But for her to say she made the world a worse place because of this, maybe in the short term, but maybe she has the conversation that makes it better. I'm not sure. I'm not here to apologize for her. She said, I'm an effing stupid, ignorant idiot who didn't know something I should have known. Here's another one. Let's see what she said after that.
About this.
Let's go back to this and see what she said after that. And if, what everyone has always loved about Demi is that she's willing to just be authentic and tell you how it is. And that's hard to find in the Bachelor franchise because it's so many people like being a pageant queen, like, I'm from Texas and I love to save the world. And Demi's like, I'm an ignorant piece of shit. No one would love me. I don't love myself. It's like, we like that. We love that.
Fuck it. People are telling me I shouldn't say anything. I'm going to say something about this.
Good.
So there's been this picture that's been resurfaced of me wearing a jacket that had a Confederate flag on it. That jacket was given to me by my ex. His dad actually gave it to me. And I had no idea, like, the weight that the Confederate flag held whenever I was wearing it. And I just wore it for that one night. And it was a Yeezy jacket. I thought it was so cool. I was like, yeah, Yeezy. And I didn't even, like, pay attention to that. That's ignorance. That's ignorant of me not to pay attention to the Confederate flag. Even more ignorant of me to not even know how harmful that is to people. So, like, yeah, I royally fucked up wearing that. And I am so fucking sorry. Like, I'm disgusted with myself. I'm embarrassed. Like, it doesn't even matter how I feel. I'm just so fucking sorry because that is not what I stand for. That is not what I'm about. And I'm really mad that I ever wore it. Fuck it.
All right. So she's mad she wore it. She says it's ignorant that she even thought it would be okay. She did a good job of, like, explaining herself, but also saying that wasn't good enough. I think that's important. We don't like an apology that says, I didn't think it would be a problem because Yeezy made it, and if he's endorsing it, I thought that was that would be fine. She doesn't do that route. She says, it's still ignorant of me. It's wrong. This is where I was coming from. It's kind of like guilty with an explanation. Yes, this happens in every conversation. If you've ever been in an argument with your significant other. Yes, I was wrong. Yes, I should have done this, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings, so I thought, you know what I mean? So while that might have come off even too defensive, but it's important to go, look, I want you to know what I was thinking because I was altruistic in nature. I'm not saying Demi was altruistic in nature here. I'm saying Demi had the ignorance to just look over what that might have been. You know what I mean? What else has she said? I think that might be it. That was it from that. And of course, there's the old Yeezy jacket, which you'd think would be an expensive thing because he makes like $500 Crocs, right? But over here, it's only $112, The old Yeezy tour jacket with a Confederate flag. What does that even mean? Is he from the South? Is Kanye? I mean, I guess he is, right? You just forget that because he's so up in the Kardashian clan here. You don't even remember. So what we have over here is this isn't even like the same story, but Taylor Nolan, Tay Mocha, is going in on Demi. Taylor's like the call-out queen of her cast. She does this, and You know, she and again, I'm not judging her. She gets. I think she makes her income from like Venmo donations, right? Like people will donate to her for doing this research and this call out, and that's their form of progress, is to like hold people accountable. Demi says, Bachelor girls always love me because of my clout and entertaining. Well, I don't want to know a single one of the people who said mean things to Heather, because of course this last episode Heather showed up and everyone's like, bitch, please, you know, doing whatever they were doing, like bounce out of here. What's the matter? You couldn't get a man the first time. Like they went hard on Heather, right? You guys watched that. Well, then Taylor says the foolishness of centering white women in white female victimhood. I'll let you guys tell me what this means in the comment section. Does she mean the foolishness of centering white women, like making Demi the center of this story? And that very well might be the case. I can't speak for Demi. I always think Demi is the type to walk to the beat of her own drum. So Demi might not be associating herself as some like white woman. She's she'll be the first to tell you she's an ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit, trash human from the South who's overcome having a mom in jail and had to figure herself out. Those are pretty much her words. I might have summed up a little bit there, but that's what we love about Demi, right? Is that she's no better than any of us. But Taylor says she's centering herself as a white woman in the victimhood. I don't know. Is Demi being a victim in this statement, or is she saying I don't condone bullying? I think what Demi's saying is I don't condone bullying. And my thought here, and respectfully, my thought here is that Taylor is It's like when you're playing laser tag and the guy's already lost and you just keep on hitting him in the knee, or paintball, he's down on the ground. He's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is I don't know if going after Demi, you know what I mean? It's like, I want you to prove your point and prosecute your point, and I think there's so many better ways to do it than this. But then again, free bandwidth, you do you. We all have our opinions here. God knows I don't want Taylor Mocha on my bad side. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, that would not be trying to keep the peace here. And then here she goes on another one, slightly different news. She says, at E! News, at Hannah Brown literally didn't say anything in her statement other than centering herself on some journey she is on, and you give her credit and center her for calling for change. Do better. So, you know, Taylor, this is her mission, and rightfully so, is to call out people who say they're going to do better and hold them to a higher standard. I would like to think that we can look at Demi and hold her to a higher standard, but also listen. Listen, folks. Listen to when people say they're an ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit and that they want to do better. You know, this is a funny one right here, because if you guys watch my content, and I appreciate that you do, for the people that watch, I make something like an hour's worth of content a day in one form or another. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm making an hour podcast, which will be audio only, the SAP. And then after that, last night, I worked till 2 a.m. making 2 different videos to live stream this. I talk very in depth about these subjects. I come from New England, where I didn't have the best history lessons, and I try to learn. I learned that a lot of Confederate monuments went up during the when the KKK was at its rise in the 1920s, and then again in the 1960s during the Civil Rights Movement. A lot of Confederate statues went up in Baltimore, Maryland. So why did a Confederate statue go up in 1948 in Baltimore, Maryland? You learn about all this. You learn about Confederate statues being used as subtle ways to intimidate others, to like get in line, don't uprise, this and that. And then you learn that the Confederate flag, there's been PR campaigns to make it like we're just enjoying the South. You know, it's like, let me search over here, Dukes of Hazzard, right? We got Dukes of Hazzard car, right? With Dukes of Hazzard car. You know what I mean? Like this was on TV for decades, right? Am I wrong? Was this not on TV for decades? So is it crazy to think that the Confederate flag was normalized? No, it doesn't make it right. Dukes of Hazzard, look, the car was called the General Lee, for God's sakes. So I'm not saying this is right. By the way, look at that belt buckle over there. I can't pull it up here. I'm not saying, there looks kind of like a Hannah Brown right there. She would be on this show. Hannah Brown's like, I'm just going to ride the General Lee down to the debutante ball. You know what I mean? She puts her little, puffly outfit on. I'm not saying it's right. I never have. Go through my content and let me know. I'd love to see a time code. But this is the result of trying to have rational thought right here. At D. Neals, that's me. Making excuses for the Confederate flag is special. Someone needs to educate him on the flag's history and the daughters of the Confederacy. Even Germans know that it isn't cool to take a photo with a Nazi flag. Who makes excuses for someone celebrating traitors? Hey, Michaela Sky says, why don't you go find me a time code when I made an apology for the Confederate flag? We're having tough conversations, and we're trying to clean up this oil spill that our generations before us left here. And I don't think just canceling every single person who didn't know better is the right way to do it. Progress, change, apologizing, moving forward. Being an ignorant, self-absorbed piece of shit isn't the end of the world. It's a starting point for us to do better. All right, guys, I got a lot of content coming up. I'll be back. Have a good one. Leave a comment. Keep it kind. See you next time. Bye, guys.